Welcome back, folks. Today we're talking about the co-main event of UFC this weekend. We're talking about Usman versus Chimaev. What a fight, can I just say. I am so much more excited for this fight than I was for Costa Chimaev. And I also think it'll be a better fight. Just because the caliber of competitor that Usman is. Not because Paulo wouldn't have come in there and given Khamzat a fight. But it's just the stakes are a wee bit higher, I feel, for this one. It's more of a competitor's fight rather than just a fight that is going to be a fun, exciting fight to watch. This fight means more for the sport, and I feel like it has more implications on what happens next with the division, because it's kind of a win-win for the UFC, right? Let's look at it like this. Kamaru Usman has already beaten the UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland, right? So think about it this way. If Kamaru gets it done against Chimaev, then beats Strickland again, Chimaev can then Usman beats Chimaev, then Usman goes and beats Sean again. Usman can then win the middleweight belt if he was to get through both men, which is an incredibly tough task, especially at Kamaru's age, especially with Kamaru's conditions in his knees at the moment, and it's a very tough ask. But I mean, if anyone's going to get it done, it'll be Kamaru Usman. We've only really seen him truly outclassed against Leon Edwards, but I always have said Kamaru's title reign is kind of not a fluke, but like Masvidal twice, okay, like whatever. He had Masvidal's number in the second fight. The first fight was boring. The Gilbert Burns performance, good performance against a solid competitor, well done. The jab of Kamaru just broke Gilbert Burns down, and Burns, I think, gassed out, felt the pressure of the moment. First Colby fight, incredible fight. Can't take anything away from that. Was a phenomenal win against Colby, who's so tough to beat. Second fight, more of the same, a very good fight. Not as good as the first, but incredibly good. And I scored the second fight a draw, actually. So it's just one of those things. And if Usman gets it done against Chimaev, then goes up, gets it done against Strickland, he has every right as the middleweight champion to say, look, I want to finish my career as champ. I want to be the first person to drop down a weight and win a belt, and then go back down. And think about this, if Colby beats Leon, Usman Colby 3 for the welterweight belt, Usman's retirement fight, win or lose, he wants to finish his career on top. And if he can finish his career as champion of two divisions, that messes up the landscape of both divisions, but it's massive for the UFC. You've got potentially one of the greats in Usman going out there getting it done, so you can't say anything else other than fair play to him if he goes out there and does it. However, on the other side of the table, and this is the other win for the UFC, Khamzat Chimaev, rising star, superstar caliber level right now, and I truly think he'll go out there, he'll dominate Usman, but I also don't think that, I think what we've seen from Chimaev is a very fast-paced, very looking for the finish all the time fighter, a killer fighter. He wants to just literally make everyone look like nothing against him, and at welterweight, you can do that. Chimaev probably walks around, I'd say 215, 205 maybe he walks around. Cutting to welterweight like that is a tough ask, but obviously Chimaev has been doing it for a while, and I think after getting COVID, after having that time off, he put on a wee bit of weight, maybe did a test weight cut down to 170 at his time out in Tiger Muay Thai, which is where I'm training for a little while when I'm in Thailand for a few months, and maybe thought to himself, you know what, welterweight will be there, but you have to have a good 6 months to get yourself down to a welterweight frame, something like this. So we'll give it middleweight a good stint, and then we can potentially see him have wins across 205, 170, and 185 at some stage in his career. I feel bad though, because I feel like Khamzat was one of those guys that would fight so much. He fought 2 times in 10 days, and he was just fighting all the time, and then all of a sudden he just was gone for like 2 years, almost like a year and a half, and then he was off for another year now, and his last fight was against Kevin Hall. It's just loads of rubbish goes into Khamzat's career at the moment, and I know he had injuries, and I know he had an illness, but I believe he's going to come in here better than ever, looking to get back on track. And there's a big thing with fighters about having about a year off and just knowing you're going to get in there, get back on track, and there's a real motivation to it. Your body's a bit more healed, you've had good quality weight to put on, trimmed it really well, not on short notice, and I'm hoping that's what Chimaev's done. Now, in my mind, I would love Usman to go out there and get it done, okay? I would really love Usman to go out there and get it done. However, this is where we get to the nitty-gritty prediction side of things. I keep picturing ground and pound finish. I keep picturing that, and I feel like Khamzat and Usman will be out there in the middle, exchanging jabs, leg kicks early. Khamzat will then grab him in the clinch, throw a knee or two with a left hook after it, maybe. And then I just feel like there's going to be a clinch exchange up against the cage, and there's going to be a trip. And then Usman will be on one leg and one hand, and Khamzat will just start pounding hammer fists into his face. And that'll win him a round. And then I just feel I can just see ground and pound, and I can see Usman doing very well in the clinch, holding his own in the clinch. But there's a certain tenacity and nastiness that Usman does not have. He'd rather stomp on your toes up against the clinch. And whereas I feel like if Khamzat had, for example, Jorge Masvidal against the clinch, he'd say, fucking hell, brother, this guy's gone 10 seconds without being hurt. This guy's gone 10 seconds without any real damage. What am I doing, brother? Am I a pussy, brother? Da, da, da. And he'd make sure he puts pain on people. Khamzat's young. How old is he? 28, 29. Usman's 36, maybe, I think. Bad knees. I think his knees are going to give out on him a wee bit this fight. I mean, the Edwards fight, just the leg kicks, I think, really fucked Usman up a bit. Right on the outside of the knee. Anytime Usman didn't check it, you could just see his knee turn in, and you just know it hurt him, you know. I'm going to say this. You know what? I'm going to say Kamaru Usman steals the third round. Just being more active on the feet, landing better jabs, maybe a right straight to the body. And I'm going to say a decision victory. I'm going to say it's a decision win for Khamzat Chimaev. I'm going to say 29-28 Khamzat Chimaev. I think it's going to be a close fight. And I think people are going to, after the fight, say, oh, Khamzat's not as good as we thought. It's like, no one has beaten Usman in the past, 5 years, 8 years? Except Leon Edwards, you know? Or like, he was almost undefeated for 10 years, I think it was, or some weird stat like that. Pound for pound number one in the world for a good year, you know? So it's just like, getting Usman out of there is so hard to do, and Edwards did it by luck. I'm not going to discredit Edwards, but you know, everything was against him. He got a done fair fucks to him. In the second fight, he looked absolutely brilliant. I made a separate video on that after the fight ended, if you want to go back and just see my thoughts on the history of MMA. And I've got Usman losing a decision, and then I've got him dropping back down to welterweight for one or two more fights and retiring, because he's not going to retire on a loss. And I think in Usman's head, he knows UFC Africa is there, and if Colby beats Leon, Colby versus Usman, UFC Africa, that would be very cool, you know. And I just feel like it would be what it would be what the Africans deserve, you know. Sean Strickland, Duplessis in Africa, Usman versus Colby in Africa. That would be quite cool, and I feel like maybe Izzy would return for that. You guys know how I feel about Israel Adesanya. Can't stand him. Don't have any hatred or animosity towards him. I just don't like him at all. No, there's nothing personal. It's just business, Izzy. As you know. Thanks for the 10,000 view video on my channel. I appreciate it. But yeah, as I said, guys, I've got Khamzat Chimaev. I think just being the bigger man, just edging it a bit more volume, I think. More volume, not one shot at a time, maybe combinations, 1-2 left hook, leg kick, stuff like this, very traditional Muay Thai style, you know, because he is more of a grappler, he's a Chechen warrior. I'm excited to see how the story of Chimaev unfolds after this fight, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Usman can bring to the table. And we've got to talk about the 12 days notice. This benefits Usman because it's a weight class above, he'll be stronger, won't have to cut as much weight. But I don't think the 12 days plays into it too much, because even Usman did a 25-minute interview and he did not mention the short notice fight once. So that's not playing on his mind. He's going into this knowing he's a competitor and knowing he can go out there and get it done. And if he gets it done, I'll be very impressed. I might put a little bit of money on him just in case, because you can't count Usman out. I just think he's over his peak, and it's maybe time for a new kind of guy, and obviously in Leon Edwards or Colby or something. And I've got Khamzat Chimaev winning by 29-28 decision, or maybe a majority decision. Maybe Chimaev has it, maybe 2 29-28s and 1 27-27. You know, it could be something like that. It could be something. You never know. I feel like a majority decision maybe, or something, because I feel like it could be a little bit of a close fight, or just you don't know who to edge around for, or I just don't see Chimaev going out there and steamrolling him. Maybe early, it looks like it could be done, and then second round's closer than the third round, you can maybe give to Usman, and then it's kind of a fight like that. And maybe the fans will have like mixed opinions on the result, etc. But I just feel like it'll be a decision. To finish Usman, you need to pull something out of the pocket, and I feel like I don't think Khamzat Chimaev has the kicks Leon Edwards has, and I don't feel Khamzat Chimaev has the technique behind them and where to place them, because that's what we all seen in the fight with Leon Edwards, the fight number 3, the third fight with the Edwards, the trilogy fight. All we seen was perfect placed leg kicks under the elbow. Body kicks under the elbow. Jabs, leg kick after that, scooting around the cage, teep, defend the takedown, reverse it, hold him there. And if Usman gets Chimaev down, that'll be fun, and maybe you could see that in the third round, maybe like a trip or something. Just have a little Chimaev from bottom would just be hammer fisting him to bits, making him pay for taking him down. And I don't know, we'll see Chimaev look a wee bit vulnerable, I think, but it'll be a good fight regardless. And I want to thank everyone for watching this video, and I think it'll be a good fight, 29-28 or a majority decision for Khamzat Chimaev. Thanks very much, folks. Don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate you.